Hey everyone, welcome back. This is the professor, and we are going to start on the weekly chart like we normally do. I like to grab a horizontal line and just start dragging that around and look for where we've been seeing some type of bounces as a key level, maybe in both directions. And again, we can kind of see that in this area, in this area, and in this area. And ironically enough, that is where crude oil is right now on the weekly. So we're going to drop it right there. We're going to go ahead and label this as a weekly level. And this is important to note because when we start looking at these levels, we have to understand that we are kind of in a crucial moment here where we can expect possibly some type of resistance at the top. And if we break that level, then we might be looking at a scenario like this that crude oil is going to continue going higher. Hey everyone, the professor here. And again, my goal for you is to do what? Get some value from this video. I want you to mark up your charts as we go along. Again, the plan here is very, very simple. I want you to learn the key zones from each chart. What we do, 90% of what we do and how I trade is based on support and resistance and structure. And again, I want you to feel better about your trading decisions. You need to have a plan before getting into any trade. No matter if you take that trade from someone else or you are analyzing the charts yourself, you need to have an exit plan. You need to have a management plan. And you need to have a good entry plan. When do you plan to get in and on what time frame? So as we go through these levels here, I want you to pay attention and I want you to go ahead and mark up your charts as we go through. So let's go ahead and drop on down to the daily chart right now. And here you can really begin to see these levels that we were talking about. Again, you've got that area here. You've got previous support here, pretty much previous support, previous support, previous support. And again, support does turn into resistance. So this is exactly where we are at. And this is also a weekly level. So now that we know it's a weekly level, we also know that we can change this and make it a daily and a weekly level based on our analysis. Now, what I want to do is grab another horizontal line and I want to start looking for these next levels where I might expect some type of retracement. Again, this was a resistance level. We had a support here. We had a support here. So again, we're just going to kind of mark this up as a daily level. And I don't necessarily write down support or resistance because levels can act in either way. And again, please remember that levels are never an exact line. It is within an area of the price. Okay, so let's go ahead and mark these obvious ones here. Again, this one here is pretty obvious. And then also the one underneath, because we are dealing with a daily time frame here. So as we kind of zoom out, we can see here that we had bounces and we also had support. So what we want to do right now, again, is just kind of mark up daily level. Okay, and then we want to go ahead and mark up daily level. And so we got those levels on there. Let me go ahead and bring that down here just a tad so it is not so huge. Okay, so as we begin to kind of take a look at these daily levels, now we also want to do is we want to mark our bottom floor as well. Okay, so we had a bounce down at this level. And again, this would be a daily level. We want to mark that one up. And so we've seen these areas bounce from here to here. Again, let's go ahead and mark this area right here as a daily. Let's get over to the text and type a daily level. All right, awesome. So now we've got some higher time frame levels. So let's start dropping down to some of the smaller time frame levels, and let's see if we see some congruence and we see some things that are beginning to shape up. Now, as we zoom out, okay, as we zoom out on crude oil, and again, you could look in the upper left-hand corner, you can see the chart that I am using, the WTI light sweet crude oil futures spot. This price pretty much mirrors my Thinkorswim platform, but of course, charting on TradingView, it is much easier. So now that we see these levels, and again, we are still, right, really in this kind of bearish, and let's make that another color, right? We are still in this bearish structure here, right? Again, I believe until we don't break above the 72 to 74 to get a position like this, or a position like this, that we are still in a bearish structure. We need to close, in my opinion, above this 74 area if we're going to get another push back up into the 80s. So as we are kind of looking at this chart here, what we're going to do, we want to slide this over. And again, we want to start looking at the smaller time frames. So the first thing we're going to have to keep in mind is going to be this level right here. Okay, so this is going to be an important level that we are going to have to close above, right? Or get a bullish engulfing candle. And let me bring up the scope, kind of like here. Okay, if we can get this bullish engulfing candle from here, then we're looking at price going up, maybe retesting, and then heading back up towards 74. Okay, if we do not get that bullish engulfing candle, if we see some consolidation, and I'm going to show you the smaller time frames in just a minute, then we don't close above this level on a 4-hour time frame or higher, then we're probably going to continue dropping further down. So we shall see what happens. And this is going to be a very key level right in here. So as we drop to the 4-hour, right, we definitely want to begin to see what is happening at those different levels, because here is really where we can begin to look at the price action. Okay, the price action always will dominate and will be most important in everything that we do. So as we kind of scale up the chart here, okay, we have our high time frame levels, which we want to respect. We want to see what's going to happen here at this 71-ish price that we currently are closed at. And again, the Q, okay, for price to go higher, and actually let me anchor this with a call out right in here, okay, and let's go ahead and make that text black so you can see it, and that is you are looking for this price action to go higher. Okay, so if it's going to go higher, then we need to see basically this price action when we get that bullish engulfing candle up, okay, on a 4-hour level or higher. So I'm going to add that to here, because if not, you can get a false reading on a 15-minute or even the 1 hour to go higher. 4-hour level or higher. Okay, which of course, if it's going to happen on the 4-hour, it's also going to happen on the 8-hour and what have you. So we are looking for this, okay, over here, if we are going to take price higher. Okay, okay, look to the left for higher analysis. So when my members get my charts, right, we have this, they have enough tools, they have enough wording, they have enough text, and they have enough guidance that we take these trades daily anyways, a couple times a day. But for those folks that may be trading off hours, these levels will actually help them. So I give every member notes and analysis so they can make the best decision possible in the event that they're trading, for example, London session, and I don't trade London session. I want them to be well informed. So this is what we're going to be looking for here at this particular level. Okay. If we do not get that price action above, then now that we are on the 4-hour, we want to start marking up some of these floors on a 4-hour. So this is going to be a 4-hour level. Okay, so by marking up this 4-hour level, now if price begins to come down, I have to understand that I would not want to start selling, right? For example, crude oil here. And let's change this color. Okay, I wouldn't want to start selling crude oil here because I know now that there's a possible floor at this 4-hour level. Okay, so that's the reason why marking up the levels are so important. But what we are going to start looking for is, are we going to get that bearish engulfing candle? Now, in my opinion, that bearish engulfing candle is going to have to come down. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and make this red. Okay, we would have to break this floor right here. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and make that, let's make that this reddish color. We would have to break the floor here and close below for then price to continue down towards this particular level. Okay, so we would need to see that price action close basically below 70.50 if we're going to see price really come back down into the 70s or upper 69. Okay, so that is kind of the bearish move once price action tells us, hey, that's the way that we're going to go. On the opposite, if we see that bullish engulfing candle, and we'll turn that green over here. Then again, at that point, we're looking for price to continue up. Again, I like to see if hopefully we get a retest and then we continue up towards the higher levels. Okay, but again, this analysis right here is going to be based on looking for price action at this level. And you can see over here, price pretty much took off to about 73, gave you about 30, 40 pips down, and then continued to the top side. So again, price will not always retest the zone. So this is why if you're going to get in on an impulsive entry, you never really want to do so with a very large lot size because you may experience some drawdown if there is going to be a retest process. Okay. So as we drop to the 1 hour, this is where we really begin to look for what price is doing at the different levels. And as I zoom in here on the 1 hour, we can see here, right, that we had price already come down to this level, kind of reject this area, okay, because we can see all these wicks here. So now on the 1 hour, since I saw all those wicks, I like to move the line further down. So now I change my bias and we need a candle really to close below this price point, okay, which is about 70.30. Okay, if it closes to continue going down. Okay, and why? Because when you look at this area right in here, wick, 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 we never had a closure. So what did price action tell us? They have no intention of closing below. Now I see, there is liquidity down in these candles, right? When will they come back down to grab those? We shall see. But again, for right now, if they are going to come and grab this liquidity down in this area, you're going to need to see this candle, okay, this candle close on a 1 hour or lower. So now we change the scenario if it's going to go back down to grab some liquidity in that area. So this is why we start dropping down to the smaller time frames. But again, here, as we are on this 1 hour, let me get rid of this and mark this up. As we are on this 1 hour level, again, very, very clear. And it doesn't have to be perfect, right? But very, very clear that we are kind of riding that trend line to the top side. Okay. Now, ironically, if you kind of take a look at this chart that I'm showing you, right? If you look right where that circle is pointed with the trend line, with where I said price has to close below that key red level, look where price would have to do. Price would have to go back and basically do what? It would be closing below the trend line. Okay. It would be closing below the trend line. So again, that's just another area that you can say, okay, if price closes below the trend line, may come back up and retest, and then we're coming back down towards the 69 levels. Okay. So this all kind of correlates perfectly. We're either going to get this scenario or we're going to begin to get this scenario where price can possibly go up higher above 72. Okay. We have to start thinking now a little bullish, but a little cautious at the same time. Crude oil, I believe, for the next few weeks will be very difficult to read. And that's why I've kind of told our members, hey, if you're going to trade crude oil and you're usually trading a full CL, which is a futures lot size, for example, go down to some micros, right? If you normally trade a full, just trade 2 or 3 micros, because I think crude oil is going to kind of have a rough time ahead trying to figure out if they're going higher or lower. It is an election year, so they're going to want to keep fuel as low as possible. But again, so there's a lot of players right now going on when it comes to crude oil. Okay, so talking about crude oil, let's take a look at one of the headlines from this weekend from Reuters. Again, oil did end more than 1% higher on the U.S. rate cut and also declining crude stockpiles. Now, again, the United States is producing more oil than ever before. So again, this is where this could be a little misleading. But I believe that oil did mostly rise because of the cuts that happened this particular week. And again, we cannot discount that we are beginning to get some more Middle East tensions that could definitely have an impact on crude oil. Okay, so I hope you got some value on this video. Now, over my shoulder, there's going to be a video here popping up pretty soon. I would encourage you, if you have not yet had a chance to watch that video, to click on that video, watch it. It is going to help you, especially if you are brand new into trading crude oil, or even if you have some experience I'm getting a lot of positive feedback that it's helping people scalp the market inside of crude oil, especially if you're one of those funded brokers that you have to close your trades at the end of each every day. You want to stay on the smaller time frame and you want to be able to scalp your trades. Hey, again, thanks for watching. Don't forget to be kind to someone this week. We are definitely in a place in this world that we need more random acts of kindness. It doesn't have to be put on social media. Just do it because it's good for the heart and it's good for your soul. Okay. Thanks for watching. Members, don't worry, you will get these charts. And again, if you have not yet joined our trading community, I would encourage you to head down to the professortrades.com. You can see the website down at the bottom. I'm even offering a 7-day trial for a couple of bucks for you to come in and see what we are doing. I'm extremely happy, not because of me, but really our members is what makes our community. We have a 92.3, I think it is, a retention rate. And again, it's not because of me. It's because of the good work being done by the men and women inside of that community who really are looking to cheer you on, help you out, whether you're struggling. We've lifted a lot of people who have struggled. We're helping people pass their challenges. We just had a member this week that was able to purchase his dream car. So again, well, I'm just extremely proud and humble that God has chosen me to be able to give back. There are people who do a lot better in trading than I do. The one thing that a lot of people lack is the consistency and it's the authenticity to be real with people. And I think that's why we're seeing so many people grow, not only as traders in our community, but also self-development. They're looking at, remember, this is temporary. Everything we're doing here on this physical earth, at one point in our lives, it's just to be left for the next individual that we choose to do so, because we can't take our Forex accounts, our futures accounts with us. We can't take the properties that we buy with us. We can't take our equipment that we buy with us. So eventually, everything that we're doing here, everything that we're trying to attain is ultimately just to leave for somebody else. So remember what the Bible says, you can't serve two masters. So please don't serve money, because if you let money overrule why you do what you do, you're going to see that it's going to taint your heart and it's not going to get you very, very far. So use the money for experiences, use the money to help people. If you go with a different mindset, you're going to see your life change as well. Okay. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.